Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about why a lot of people stop gaining muscle after that 1.5, sometimes even 2 year mark. I'm sure we all know that one person that's been going to the gym for maybe like 5, 6, 7, sometimes even 8 years, and they still look the same as they did 5 years ago. Now, as we all know, the more advanced you get into lifting, the more your gains slow down. So in your first year, you may gain 10 pounds of pure lean muscle. The next year, you may gain 6. The year after that, you may gain 4, then 3, then 2. And then you might be gaining a ½ pound after you've been working out for 6+ years. Obviously, those numbers will be different based on the person and that person's genetics, let's say, but there's a couple things that we can do to keep that process of building muscle throughout our first and then our second, third, fourth year a consistent rate as much as we can. And by far, the easiest way to do this is to make sure you're still getting stronger, month to month, year to year. Now, I'm not saying you have to hit a PR every single week, every single time you're in the gym, but just make sure on the grand scheme of things, you are getting stronger, especially on those big compound lifts that utilize a lot of different muscle groups. This is by far the easiest and the best way to ensure that you're making progress year to year and you're putting on muscle year to year. Now, I'm not saying this is an easy thing to do, but it's the best and it's the most reliable method of making sure that you're gaining muscle year by year and not stalling or plateauing. So as a general rule of thumb, if you're getting stronger on your lifts year to year, week to week, month to month, whatever it may be, then you know that you're making progress. But what happens when we get to the point where we can no longer add that weight to the bar and get stronger? Well then, guys, you basically have two different options that you can go about utilizing. Now, the first option that you can utilize is just either adding more sets, adding higher intensity like drop sets or anything like that, adding another exercise to your workouts. And in most cases, this will allow you to go to the next level of progress and just keep adding on muscle because your body most likely adapted to what you were giving it as a training stimulus in the first place. So adding in drop sets, supersets, anything that's more intense, more volume, anything like that. Sometimes that can help kick your body into that next level of progress. But in some cases, that might not actually help and that can actually hinder your progress. If you're already training really hard, taking a lot of sets to failure, you've already added in more drop sets and supersets to your routine, then it's most likely time to take something that is known as a deload. All right, guys, and all a deload is basically you take a week of a lot less intense training, a lot less volume in your training. There's different ways to do deloads, but the most highly recommended way of doing a deload is going to be do half the amount of weight for half the amount of sets and half the amount of reps. Now, obviously, this is going to be super easy. It's basically just going to feel like you're doing a warm-up when you're in the gym for that week. I know that some people like to just take a full week off from lifting weights, but then sometimes that can make you just crazy sore the next week after that when you're trying to really prime your body. So in most cases, when your training begins to either plateau or just regress a little bit, I would strongly suggest doing a deload if you're already training with a decent amount of intensity and volume. And then after you come back from that deload, don't just go straight to balls to the walls training again. Slowly build yourself up and try to progressive overload. So go harder and harder every week after your deload. The week after you come back from that deload doesn't have to be any crazy intense training like you were doing before the deload. And as long as you can repeat this cycle of adding more and more weight, more volume, more sets, and then getting stronger, and then deloading once you plateau. And as long as you can keep doing this cycle, in theory, you can put on as much muscle as you want forever. Now, obviously, nobody that's natural can just continue to pack on the same muscle at the same rate, but this is really just the best way to ensure that you're making progress. All right, guys, and another variable that I really wanted to talk about real quick that you can manipulate to ensure that you're gaining muscle. And this one isn't as clear cut and easy to judge as if you're gaining strength, but it's going to ensure that you're slowly gaining weight over time as well, because as we all know, muscle has weight to it. So if you notice that the scale's going up, but you're not getting noticeably fatter, then that's a good indicator that you're gaining muscle as well, and that what you're doing is going to keep working for at least a while longer. When you first start off lifting weights, you can even be losing weight or staying at the same weight, gaining muscle and losing fat both at the same time. Obviously, when you first start off lifting, it's a lot easier to do this. And as you slowly progress through the years, it gets more and more difficult to put on muscle as well as lose fat. And that's just, again, because in the same way that your body stops responding to training as much, your body also stops responding to diet in the terms of that. So that's why it's highly recommended if you want to put on as much muscle as humanly possible. You want to be in a slight caloric surplus as well, and this is the ideal place for muscle growth, guys. So gaining strength in that hypertrophic rep range of anywhere from 8 to 30 reps, along with gaining a little bit of weight week to week, is really just the perfect recipe for putting on muscle year after year. And guys, bodybuilding really is just this simple to make sure that you're making progress. It doesn't take any crazy level of science or nutrition knowledge. You just have to make sure that you're doing a little bit more than you did last time, getting a little bit stronger, sometimes even gaining a little bit more weight. As long as you can do this consistently year after year, you'll make the most of your training and your diet, and you'll see the results that you most likely want. All right, guys, I really appreciate you tuning into this video. If this video helped you out, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next, guys. I'm down to make just a ton of different YouTube videos. Let me know if you have any questions on diet, nutrition, training, anything like that. I'd love to help. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, guys.